So the next distortion up for discussion folds very neatly with the labels concept. It is filtering. So in individual psychotherapy with a depressed client, we talk about a negative filter where, here, it's a sunny day outside. Oh, that means it's just too hot. I'm not going to go outside today. Or, oh, you got a phone call. Maybe there's somebody that wants to talk to you. Oh, they probably want something from me, or they feel obligated. I don't want to talk to them. You filter out so many of the good things that life presents you. You emphasize the negative stuff, and voila, you have a mental escape that is filled with negativity, which brings depression, isolation, all that stuff. Point being that the mind is playing a role in creating that reality. When it comes to this forum discussion, community dialogue, filtering occurs when someone posts, like they put up their OP or they put up something, a thread, that kind of thing, and then the responder isn't responding to what is being written. Either they're just completely kind of conjuring something, they kind of making assumptions about the OP, or they hook onto like one part of it and then they filter out the context, the rest of it, usually filtering out the good stuff that's explaining what's happening and then latching onto the context and jumping on it for whatever reason. So then filtering explains a lot of what happened with that prison architect form. So then Prison Architect, if you don't know, was a popular, or still is a popular video game. Came out a couple years ago, millions of copies sold. You are a prison warden and you are building up a prison, sim style, and you're jailing prisoners and getting money for it, and earning the money to build up your prison, all that kind of thing. And the board game adaptation was what David and Norley were making. So it's like, video game is popular, people play it. Board game should be no problem, right? Wrong. It's a disgusting theme. And some of the stuff that happens in the video game is very disgusting in terms of, getting money and getting points for executing prisoners from death row. I used to work in prison, so I've always been horrified by it, but it's a video game. That's not the field that I'm in. It's just something that I've always kept in mind. Came into board gaming. Now, I was not one of the ones that kind of, raised my voice at the time. I raised my voice about a lot of games, not that particular one, just because there was a lot of other people that were there. David and Norley were eventually persuaded to step out. And I want to really emphasize that point. Persuaded. They put up a thread and explained their reasoning. I'm going to read around a little bit, but you can totally go to BGG and check out the forum for yourself. Quote, video games are a different medium for a different community with a very different context. You play games in the privacy of your home, gaining enjoyment from whichever part of the game you want to. As long as nobody's getting hurt, as long as nobody's promoting hateful ideas, it probably falls under the no harm done category. But our board gamer community is about interacting with other people in real life. We want a game on the table. We want to look each other in the eyes and tell everyone how awesome whatever game we're playing is and that they should join in. If we make a game where a large number of people say, this makes me feel uncomfortable, and we say, okay, too bad, we are knowingly excluding them from the community who can enjoy our games. We don't want that. And so that's a very well thought out reason. If someone's doing something because they didn't want to, why would they put that much thought into it? And elsewhere in the post, it's like, I came to this decision of my own free will. I enable fun. I don't want to bum people out. Period, point blank, end of story. Is everybody going to get bummed out? No, but there's enough people that are getting bummed out that I don't want this. Right there. Then you had so many posts that just whiff. Didn't read any of that. And they were like, David, why did you cancel the project? You succumbed to the woke mob and blah, blah, blah. Some of them were pretty, whiny and reactionary. And it's like those posts are going to get removed immediately. But a post like this got removed as well. Quote, I understand, David, if you had to make a business decision that was best for you and Norley. It's just such a shame you felt forced because of the cancel culture. I hope you can come back to this project at some point. That sounds super reasonable. And I could see someone in another forum going, that's why that's the tone is wonderful. This is the kind of discussion that you want. Why would you remove that? Because of the buzzy word. When I talk about filtering, it is that buzzy word that is the filter. right? So I talked about how the word has force baked into it, that change equals force. Well, that person who is posting thinks that they're presenting something that is calm and rational. Let's talk about this. But they filtered out reasonable reasons that have been stated in the OP. So that is what creates the problem. That is why buzzy words in any form, expressed in any way, cause a difficulty. And then there's another thing attached to that, because you get a post like that, and then a lot of people don't read that either. They just see the word cancel culture and they pile in. And that's another reason why BGG is taking a harder stance on that. And I came to that of my own. I didn't talk to anybody at BGG. This is just me observing. It's like, whoa, the hive mind has been awakened with the use of this buzzy word. So then you have all these people, yeah, cancel culture, da, 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 da. And what are you going to do? You're going to just, keep the reasonable sounding thing and then don't ban the rest? It'll just attract more stuff. So that reasonable post had to get canceled. Why? Once again, because that buzzy word creates the filtering effect, which derails and dismisses ideas. So I'll mention one more example of filtering, which is the sea lion. Sealioning is one of those internet invented terms. Refers to when someone actively keeps the conversation at a one-on-one level with basic questions. They actively filter out of the discussion, and they're thinking any attempt to answer those questions or move past an initial understanding. The point is to frustrate the people who are defending whatever the idea is, and to take advantage of our niceness as board gamers. Anybody can ask a question in any old way, and you'll have no lack of board gamers coming in and answering that question nice and helpfully. The sea lion takes advantage of that. So a recent example came and won some random board game controversy. There's no lack for those. And I believe the first version of this happened on Facebook. The person asked, "Can someone rationally explain to me why this is bad?" So we had a couple of people coming in. It was some kind of cultural faux pas. So myself included, I got suckered in and I'm typing, I'm explaining what's bad and everything, trying to be helpful. Later that day on the BGG page for that game, the same question popped up from a suspiciously similarly named user. "Can someone rationally explain to me why this is bad?" Same exact wording. I know it's a simple phrase, but that got my kind of mind buzzing. It's like, I don't want to, we'll see where this goes. And then, I don't know, somehow I got wind of a Reddit thread. I don't know if it was later the day or the next day. And the same thing happened. "Can someone rationally explain to me why this is bad?" Same person asking the same thing in 3 different ways in 3 different areas. Helpful explanations along the way. It'd be one thing if they they encountered resistance and yelling or whatever it is, but there was a whole bunch of helpfulness being there, but it got willfully filtered out by ignorance or whatever the motivation was for that person. That one really gets my goat, as you can tell.